In the heart of a city that never truly slept lived a young man named Noah. He was in his late 20s, navigating the demanding world of marketing. His days were a relentless pursuit, driven by the city's pervasive culture of chasing external success. Everywhere Noah looked, the message was clear: achieve more, earn more, be more. This constant pressure was a heavy cloak he wore daily. Long hours blurred into sleepless nights, and tight deadlines became the rhythm of his existence. Social media, a seemingly innocuous tool, amplified his anxieties. It became a relentless stream of curated perfection, fueling a gnawing feeling of inadequacy. He constantly felt the whisper, "You're not enough." This relentless cycle led to profound exhaustion, yet it was an exhaustion that offered no peace. He pushed harder, slept less, always seeking validation from the outside world. But despite perceived gains, an unsettling emptiness persisted within him. He was winning battles in the boardroom, perhaps, but losing the internal wars that truly mattered. The struggle was not with the world outside, but with the tumultuous landscape of his own mind. One particularly restless night, the city's hum offered no solace. Noah found himself drawn to a quiet park, seeking refuge from his own racing thoughts. There, beneath the soft glow of a distant street lamp, he encountered an old monk. The monk, with eyes that seemed to hold centuries of wisdom, recognized Noah's inner turmoil instantly. He spoke of a universal struggle, a war within that plagues many. He described it as a constant battle between fleeting impulses and deeper intentions, between immediate comfort and enduring conscience. The monk then introduced a powerful concept: self-control. He explained it not as rigid denial, but as the key to winning this internal war. It was the compass that could guide one through the storm of desires and distractions. To illustrate his point, the monk picked up a jar of water. He shook it vigorously, and the water became cloudy with stirred-up sediment. He explained that a mind agitated by anger, temptation, or fear becomes just as murky. But then, he simply set the jar down. Slowly, patiently, the sediment began to settle, and the water grew clear once more. This, he said, was the essence of self-control. Pausing, allowing thoughts to settle, and then choosing reactions with clarity. Inspired by the monk's wisdom, Noah began his journey with small, deliberate acts of restraint. He started by limiting his phone use, resisting the constant urge to check for notifications. He learned to pause before reacting angrily to a frustrating message. He also consciously resisted the impulse to argue pointlessly or to seek online validation for every thought. These initial steps felt impossible at first, like trying to hold back a surging tide. The silence and stillness he sought were often met with internal resistance. Yet Noah persisted. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, he began to notice subtle but profound shifts. The constant hum of anxiety began to quiet. He found moments of peace where there had only been agitation. The emerging benefits were undeniable. He experienced reduced fatigue and a surprising increase in energy. The gnawing jealousy he once felt towards others' perceived successes began to fade. Most importantly, a growing sense of self-mastery took root within him. He was no longer a slave to every impulse, but a quiet commander of his own inner world. One day, the monk presented Noah with a new challenge, a week-long task to refrain from complaining about anything. Noah accepted, thinking it would be simple. He quickly discovered how deeply ingrained negative thought patterns were. Every minor inconvenience, every unmet expectation triggered an automatic complaint. The challenge forced him to confront this pervasive negativity head-on. It was a profound revelation of his own internal landscape. As the week progressed, a remarkable shift occurred. Instead of frustration, Noah began to notice the beauty in small, everyday things. The warmth of his morning coffee, the gentle touch of sunlight, the rhythmic patter of rain, all became sources of quiet gratitude. He found himself experiencing peace where there had once been only pressure. The world hadn't changed, but his perception of it had been utterly transformed. He realized that true freedom wasn't about having everything go his way. Noah began to redefine freedom and self-control. He understood that self-control was not about denial, but about directing his life with intention. The monk clarified that true freedom is not the absence of rules, but the liberation from being controlled by one's own desires and impulses. Noah learned that self-control was the quiet, unwavering strength within. It was choosing patience over an immediate reaction, silence over a shouted retort. It was exercising discipline over distraction, holding anger instead of releasing it destructively. These were the unseen victories, battles fought and won within the confines of his own mind. They were not celebrated with applause or public recognition, but they were crucial. These silent triumphs were the very fabric that shaped his character. Mastering this inner world, Noah realized, was the greatest success one could achieve. It was the foundation upon which all other achievements rested. He began to apply these lessons to every facet of his life. At work, his newfound composure led to clearer decisions and more effective communication. In relationships, he listened more, reacted less, fostering deeper connections. His habits became intentional, not impulsive. People around him began to notice his calm demeanor, his quiet strength. He wasn't trying to impress anyone. He was simply returning to his true self, unburdened by the noise and demands of the world. Noah's journey led him to an ultimate realization. The strongest person is not the one who conquers nations, but the one who conquers himself. Self-control is the profound act of remembering who you are when the world tries its hardest to make you forget. True victories are often silent. They are the quiet moments of patience when frustration mounts, the unwavering purpose when distractions call, the profound act of forgiveness when resentment beckons. Self-control is not suppression, it is direction. It is the inner voice that affirms your strength in the face of every challenge. So pause. Take a breath. Choose your responses instead of merely reacting. Win those unseen battles within yourself, for they lead to a life that everyone around you will feel, even if they don't understand why. The greatest victory, the most enduring triumph, is mastering oneself,